Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Teacher Casey, and today we have another Q&A for you. And this VIPKid Q&A comes to you by, let's see, Donna is a part of this one, Cindy, Bennett, Mindy, and Kim. So check out the FAQ Q&A video from a couple of weeks ago, part 1, and that has some different featured teachers over there. And then this is part 2, and I've heard we have a part 3 coming soon as well. So I want to get right into this because it does have a lot of questions. I need to learn how to do timestamps, really. I'll start working on that. If you know how to do them or somebody wants to do them, let me know. Reach out to me, casey.oswald@gmail.com. I would like to do that on multiple videos. So reach out if you're learning how to do that, or if you're interested in maybe helping out Collaboration Station for that. But yeah, let's get started with this Q&A right away. Let's see, who's up first? Kim, you're up first.
Hi, my name is Teacher Kim. So I was asked about changing backgrounds for teachers in the virtual classroom, and I figured I would talk about what I do and some ideas for you as well. So I like to change my background monthly at the first of every month. I usually change it. I put the date up. I put up some different clip art pictures that I think would be cute for a background. I always like to make it fun, child appropriate, but adults as well, because I teach both. VIPKid only does children, but other companies do adults as well, so I like to kind of have it more neutral. I also prefer it to be more culturally appropriate for me than other students, because I don't want to be one country specific on culture. I prefer to either mix or do maybe more holiday related to what holidays I celebrate. Just for the fact that, again, I teach for multiple companies, and I want it to be more something that they can ask and I can explain why I have it up there. But anyway, all my backgrounds are from clip art. I search online on Google whatever I'm interested in, and or search engine, and anything I'm interested to put up. I find free clip art on there. I put it into a Word document, make it the size I want, print it, cut it, laminate, and post it. Fairly simple. My paper back here, this is not wall, this is paper on the wall. It is called Better Than Paper, and it is a background you can buy on Amazon. Fairly cheap. It's a humongous roll that you could buy maybe and share with your friends if you know other fellow teachers that need it. And it is where you could actually write on it with dry erase and wipe it off, and things stick to it really well, and it doesn't mess up your walls. I put mine up with command strips, but again, if you don't want to spend the money, you don't have to. There are cheaper ways, and we'll talk about in just a minute. For my backgrounds, like I said, everything else on here you see has been printed. I bought these on Amazon, but again, not necessary. These are all just printed, laminated, and then I taped it up there. The best wall tape that I have found that holds and doesn't fall is actually just brand name Scotch tape. Works the best. It doesn't come down. It stays up all month. I can pull them off, show it to students, put it back, and it stays. So again, all of this, all the decorations you see in the middle of the square, of the rectangle, all were just free or the cost of printing. There are some cheap and easy ways you can make backgrounds, especially if you're starting out as a new teacher. You do not want to go in spending a ton of money before you make any money, right? Some ideas. When I first started my demo, I took flashcards, ABC flashcards, I taped them to the wall, and I did my demo in front of ABC flashcards. That is $1 pack of flashcards stuck up on the wall. That was it. And it was perfect. I passed. It was easy, cute, fun, educational, but it's just something simple. After that, my next background, because I was sitting on the floor for my classroom. I used a pack of posters that I bought at the Dollar Tree for $1, and I put a few of them up behind me, and that was my background for a while. So you do not have to go expensive. Dollar Tree has lots of options. General Dollar, Dollar General, Five Below might have some stuff come the school year time. Walmart, Target, anywhere that you can get inexpensive things. You don't have to spend a lot of money for a background. Now, especially if you like to change it like I do. I don't want to invest a ton in it. I do save what I use so I can use it again next year, but I don't want to invest a ton of money because I want to make as much as possible, right? So yeah, you can do it really cheap. Other options, of course, are digital backgrounds. If your computer is strong enough and you want to go digital, I can do digital. I don't choose to do digital. I just really like being creative. And then I also don't have to worry about, green screening or having weird shadows. And I'm just weird like that. They look great, but I know I move a little too much and I wiggle and it would be all kind of wonky for me. But that's personal. You do what you like. I just recommend not spending a lot of money. You want to, especially starting out as a new teacher, you want to make the money. Now, something some people have said before, and I think it's a great idea, is when you get your first paycheck, set aside $10 or a few dollars or however much you budget in, and then buy you some things. Like I said, all my stuff was printed, so it's not like you have to go out and spend a bunch. And this is not one page per item. This is like, I put as much as I can on a page. And I expand my margins and, so there's ways to cut money and save money. And simple, you can go as simple or as not necessarily elaborate, but as fancy as you want. But just have fun with it. Make it your own personality. I do like to change my monthly, but you don't have to. Some people leave theirs up. For the longest time, I had just a United States map on my background. I've used a shower curtain before. That's another option. This inexpensive. You could throw it up and leave it. That's a really good one for if you don't have a wall behind you. You can pull it across, get the hanging rods, do it behind. If you don't have a wall behind you, another background idea is there is a company that makes chair ones. They connect to your chair and it goes up from there, and so it looks just like mine does, except for it's on your chair. So there are other options. Don't feel tied to one way. Make it your own, because the kids don't come to the classroom for your backgrounds, they come for you. So that's just some ideas and tips that I thought would help you. Thanks for watching. I hope it helps. Bye.
I love seeing the many backgrounds that teachers have to offer. So we would love to see your pictures too. If you are a VIPKid teacher, head over to Collaboration Station on Facebook. It says Collaboration Station Unofficial. Join our Facebook group and send us pictures there. We'd love to see them. I'd love, send them to me anytime though. casey.oswald@gmail.com. I'd love to see your backgrounds. If you don't mind me sharing them on this channel, maybe we'll make a mashup of all the different backgrounds from teachers. And if you have a YouTube channel, send the link as well, and I'll link that in the description box below. So thank you, Kim, so much for talking about backgrounds. You always have great tips to keep the backgrounds a little bit inexpensive. She's got some great tips. On our other one, she talked about teaching back-to-back classes, and she had some really good tips on that. So thanks again, Kim. All right, up next we have Cindy Bennett. Take it away, Cindy.
Do I get paid for student cancellations? Well, in some cases you do get paid for student cancellations. Let me explain. If you're in the classroom and you are there on time and you realize that your student is not showing up, it could be that your student is not coming, but you do have to still stay there in the class the whole 25 minutes. Now, sometimes I might move off to the side like this You don't have to stay in full view for the entire class, but you do have to keep your camera open. And keep in mind that if this happens, there are times that kids could come at like the 12-minute mark, the 20-minute mark, and you do not have to stay longer than your 25 minutes, especially if you have another class. So don't worry about it. They paid for their time, and if they're late, they still pay for the class. There are times that the parent might cancel 24 minutes and like 24 hours and 2 minutes. In that case, the parent does not have to pay for the class. Anything more than 24 hours, they do not have to pay for the class. So you will not get paid either. So what I will do is, if that happens, I will open a short notice slot, especially if I want to teach that class and say it's in between 3 or 4 classes I have already booked. If it's a early morning class, I might go ahead and close the slot and just leave it closed. But if you have it open 24 hours, then there is a good chance that it will get booked, especially if it's your evening and their morning. I always get that all mixed up. But anyway, so students do have to pay if they cancel within the 24 hours. But if it's after 24 hours, they do not have to pay. So keep in mind that if that happens, you want to go back in and make sure you have your 24-hour little knob pressed if you want to get that booked. A lot of times the short notice bookings are trials. So if you don't want to teach trials, then you might not want to open it, but I usually do. You will notice that your student has canceled because you will get a notification that you had a canceled class, and you could check that notification and see which class it was. You can also look on the portal, and if the student for the next day has made a cancellation and it's over 24 hours, then that slot will be blue if you have not requested that it wouldn't get booked if it gets canceled. But the slot will be grayed out if it's within 24 hours, and if it's grayed out and it says finished, then you do not have to stay in the classroom for that class. You get your free 25 minutes.
Up next is Mindy. Mindy, do we need a degree to teach for VIPKid?
Hi, Teacher Mindy here. Do you need a degree to work for VIPKid? Yes, you do. You need a bachelor's degree. But guess what? It can be in anything. It doesn't have to be in teaching. Teaching, of course, gives you a great background to run awesome classes. But the cool thing about VIPKid is they have extensive training. They have very, very extensive training. So if your bachelor's degree is in psychology or culinary arts or whatever it's in, not to worry, because VIPKid will train you how to be an awesome online ESL teacher. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you, Mindy. And up next, we have Donna. Donna's going to talk to you a little bit about headphones, followed by Cindy and Mindy again. Listen to all the teacher tips. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or want to let us know what headphones do you have. Have you used your iPad? We'd love to know your thoughts.
Hello, Teacher Donna here to talk to you about headphones, a highly recommended piece of equipment for your classroom. And I'm just going to talk about some things to consider when you purchase headphones. You want them to be affordable. How much are you willing to pay? Comfortable. Do you wear glasses? Do you want earbuds? And intelligible. Can the students understand you and can they hear you? All right, so I'm going to talk about my first pair. I didn't want to spend much. I still wanted them to be comfortable. I'm going to have to wear these while I'm teaching. So I found these, I think at Walmart in the game section. And I liked these because they were affordable. They went on the back of my head, and they were easy to adjust. They did not stay too comfortable because as I wore them and they got stretched out, they started falling. And then I had to wear them on the top. And this is a little big. You don't want something that's going to cover your mouth. But for a starter pair, they were very good. And they plugged in via jack. That's another thing to consider is how do they plug in. So for my second pair, I still wanted them to be affordable, and I researched because I was wearing my glasses all the time. And so I wanted a pair that was comfortable with glasses, and I researched, and these were recommended. They have the headphone on one side. They have this that lays against your ear on the other side. There was a mute switch and a volume switch down here where I could control that. And again, the jack. As I taught more and more classes, I realized that these weren't as comfortable as I'd like for several classes in a row when I taught back to back, but still. And this, I really liked this. Smaller, I can move it where it did not cover my mouth. So after teaching for a while, I decided to spend a little bit more on my headphones, and I purchased these. Impow. Several people recommended these. Super comfortable. Even though this is big, at this point I realized where I could put it and the students could still see my mouth. Controllers on the side where I can do things and the students don't know. This one, USB. Make sure you have an extra plug for whatever kind that you purchase. Now, these are amazing. I would still be using these today if I hadn't seen these. So I researched these. I saw someone wearing these. She had pink and white ones. I teach a lot of the lower kids, and I thought the ears would be adorable for them. And it wouldn't be too bad for the older kids. They like them too. So these have, there's a mute button right here, that there's a red light. So I know I'm muted or I'm not muted. It has a volume right here, which I like not having it down where I have to grab it, but I'm not much of putting my hand up here when I'm teaching. So that's been something to think about. Luckily, I haven't had to use it very often. So those are some options. I'm not an earbud person, but some people love earbuds. And as long as the students can hear you, you can wear earbuds. So now some optional things. I talked about the mic on and off. Optional. You can use the classroom. Noise canceling, where the sounds that are out in your world, they are blocked for the most part for you. Hair control. They are wonderful for hiding the bed head. So those are just some things to think about. And they look professional when you don't have ears. But some of the parents really like the look when you wear headphones. So affordable, comfortable, intelligible, professional. Happy shopping and enjoy teaching.
Hello, my name is Cindy, and I am here to answer the question, can I use an iPad for VIPKid? And the answer is yes, you can. So if you would like some help to use an iPad for teaching for VIPKid, you can join the VIPKid iPad users Facebook group on Facebook. And I also have a playlist on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Cindy Bennett 13. I also have on my website, cindybennettconnection.com. You can go there and get a free VIPKid iPad user's guide. And for me, I taught my first 1,000 classes on my iPad for VIPKid. I realized my computer wasn't going to work for teaching online, and I had an iPad, so I actually used it. I have since gotten a computer, but I used it for my first 1,000 classes. And there are some things that are different than using a computer, but it is usable, and a lot of people teach from it and they really like it. There are some differences though. The first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you download the HD app. Okay, there are 2 apps in the App Store. One is orange and it's like the one on your phone. One is the HD app and it has a corner, it's white and it says HD, and that is the one you teach from. So when you want to open a class, you make sure that you use the HD app. That is the biggest thing. Some people don't realize this and they download the other app, and then it's 5 minutes before class and they're on the Facebook group going, my app isn't working, what am I doing wrong? And then we have to tell them right away, download the HD app. So if you do that ahead of time, you will be ready. So the iPad can be taught from, and some people, as I said, really like it to teach for all their classes, and they don't use anything else. You can meet them in the VIPKid iPad users group. But some people like to just reserve the iPad as a backup, and it's a great backup. But if you want to use it for a backup, make sure that you have learned everything about it for teaching so that you are ready to go ahead and teach from it. And don't wait till the last minute to be able to, use it for teaching. Because if you wait till the class, there might be some differences that you weren't ready for. So yes, it's definitely doable. I really enjoyed using it. The reason I switched to a computer was because I actually wanted a computer for other things. And then the computer is a little easier because you have everything laid out on a bigger screen, and I like to use all of the digital rewards and things like that. So there were some things that I really liked about the computer, but some people are just fine with just using their iPad and they love it, and that's all they use. But like I said, if you want to use it for an emergency, I would recommend that you learn everything about it before it is an actual emergency. All right, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.
So, do you teach from the iPad? I have only taught from the iPad in not emergency situations, I guess a power outage type situations. Cindy is absolutely right. If you're using it as a backup, get it ready ahead of time. Go to her iPad group and take a look at all of these steps. She goes through steps, she goes through tips and tricks. She'll remind you when to, what is it? Not upgrade, update. I guess update the apps and things like that. So go check out her channel for tips and tricks and her Facebook group and Cindy Bennett Connection. So, all right. She's got more tips coming up. Stay tuned.
Hi, Teacher Mindy here. Today I'm talking about VIPKid burnout. So I was feeling very tired all the time. I would wake up early, teach class, then I would take a nap and feel groggy for the rest of the day. And I felt like I just wasn't very productive during my days because I was so tired all the time. I would go to bed at night and I would just dread getting up in the morning and having to teach. Although I love my regular students, I was dreading the whole getting up early. Once I got up and I got teaching, I had a great time teaching my students and absolutely loved them. So I was going on vacation and with my sister for a week. So I closed down all of my classes after that week. And then my husband was having surgery. I got back on Saturday, he was having surgery on Wednesday. So I just kept it all closed until after he was done recouping from his surgery. So closed everything down for 2 weeks. When I got back from vacation and before the surgery, My husband and I had a conversation and decided that I was going to stop opening classes for VIPKid. I had just signed my next 6-month contract. So at this point, I've already been teaching for VIPKid for 577 days, a year and a half. And we decided I wasn't going to tell VIPKid, hey, I'm quitting. I just wasn't going to open any more time slots and just see how it went. So VIPKid kept sending me multiple emails offering me financial incentives to open up my time slots. So first I think it was $5 and then it was $8 to open up a peak time slot. And then it was $14 and then the next day it was $15. Crazy. And I kept thinking, you know, if they wouldn't have adjusted the pay scale, which caused most of us to make less money with VIPKid, if they would have just left our pay scale as it was and not had to give all these incentives to teachers to open time slots, wouldn't they be making or spending the same amount of money, and we as teachers would be making a little bit more money? So the $14 and the $15, that was getting me a little bit curious to go back to teaching with VIPKid. But the thing that really got me was I got a message, which I've never had a message sent to me through VIPKid before, from one of my students. And the message said, Teacher Mindy, we miss you, we love you. It's actually a set of twins that I teach. I'm not really supposed to teach both of them at the same time, but I do, which is probably why they love me. But they said, we love you, we miss you, when are you going to open time slots again? And the two boys are such good students. They practice all the time. Their mom is right there on them to make sure they're not having any discipline problems, and I really love teaching them. So I decided last night to go ahead and open some short notice, 2 short notice slots. I woke up this morning and one of the short notice got booked, and of course it was with that favorite student of mine who sent me the message asking me to open time slots. So I taught him this morning, one of them, because the other one was sick, the other twin was sick. And it was a great lesson. He was awesome. He told me multiple times how much he loved me and missed me. So of course, what do? I decided that I will open some short notice time slots with VIPKid. So from now on, when I get ready to go to bed at night, I can decide, hey, do I want to get up early in the morning and teach or not? When I was going through my teacher burnout phase, I was opening up like 4 slots every morning. Many of them were getting filled with trials, and then half of the trials at least were no-shows. So then you only get half pay. So I was getting up in the morning and my pay is $8 per class. So I was only making $4 per class to get up that early, which was very frustrating. If I'm gonna get up, I wanna teach and I wanna make some money teaching, not just $4. So the other thing is, in the past, I've been requested to do the Starlight lessons, which they book you for an entire month out when you're a Starlight teacher. So I was not having the flexibility of saying, hey, I really don't want to teach tomorrow, or tired, not feeling good, or I've got something I really want to do, and so I don't want to teach. So I didn't have that flexibility anymore, which I used to have at the beginning of teaching with VIPKid, because you were booked for a month and you couldn't cancel your classes, or of course you would get like mark against you on your contract. So I've decided I'm not going to accept any more of the month-long bookings. I'm going to open short notice, and hopefully with the short notice I'll be making a little bit more money, And if it is trials, hopefully I'll get some that will convert. So I decided, yes, I was burnt out. Yes, I took 2 full weeks off, almost 2.5 weeks off. And now I'm ready to give it a try again. I'm back doing some short notice, and I'll let you know how it goes. If my burnout continues or if I feel rejuvenated getting to see my old little buddies again. So that's why I quit, and that's why I decided to open up and start accepting some classes again. Talk to you soon. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.
What about the teacher cancellations? Can I take vacation? Well, you get 6 teacher cancellations in a 6-month period. And this can be a little tricky because if you get a teacher no-show, or if you are sick, or if you want to cancel just for any reason at all, it all lumps into the 6. But one thing is good is that if you have 3 classes in a day and you cancel all 3, that counts as 1. So you can only have up to 3 count as 1 for 1 day Beijing time. If you are really sick, or if you have an accident or an emergency, you can get documentation for that and you can apply for a soft cancellation. All of this information is in the support section of your portal. So when I first started with VIPKid, I thought, oh great, well I have 6 cancellations, so it's not really a big problem if I cancel. But if you do cancel, keep in mind they're going to try to make you think twice about it, ask you if you are sure that you want to cancel, and all of that. And you will not get paid for any classes that you cancel. And if you cancel within 24 hours, you will have to pay $2 per class. If you cancel within 1 hour, you will have to pay back to the company $10 per class. And this is the rule, and so you just have to keep that in mind and just save your cancellations for real emergencies. Now, if you have a teacher no-show, that will also count as one of your 6. So if you have, say you sleep in that day and you slept through 3 classes, which hopefully won't happen, but that 3 classes will count as 1. But if it's 4 classes in a row, that will count as 2. So it's a little bit difficult to think about 6 cancellations in a 6-month period, but you also do have some leeway. If you really do have an emergency, you can apply to the company to get the soft cancellations. Other than that, you need to be careful, and also keep in mind that if you do not show up to your class at 00, that will count as a teacher no-show. You cannot be late to class. They will move on and they will find another teacher, and you will get a teacher no-show. And even if you're working on your computer and you're trying to sign in and your computer is like resetting or something, it doesn't matter. If you're not in that class, it's a teacher no-show. That's why I recommend that you would have an iPad as a backup, because iPads can get into the class within seconds. I've had to use the iPad like during a class if the power goes out, or at the beginning of class my computer is slow and I have to quick sign into my iPad because my computer isn't going to do it. So that's a really good reason why you should have an iPad as a backup.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you have a chance, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Give us a like. It always helps our analytics, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share the video if you know any other teachers that might benefit from this. And that's about it, everyone. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time for Q&A part 3 when Amanda Panda has some tips, and teacher Rebecca is supposed to be coming on that day as well, but we've got more for you. All right, see you next time. Goodbye.